Internet, welcome to the Collective Arcana, a channel all about tabletop gaming. So I'm just doing this video today because we have a Pathfinder 2 game. We ported over our Pathfinder 1 game and we're level 12, so I had to get all new spells, and one of my spells is Fire Shield, which means I'll have persistent fire damage. So I wanted to make some markers for the board just to keep things organized. I looked online, and on Amazon these things were like 30 bucks for those rings. So I figured we'd just make some quick markers out of painted hot glue, and I figured why not just go ahead and film it and show you guys. So I'm just going to take a mini. We actually did an unboxing, so here's this guy painted. And I'm just going to outline, I'm going to use him as like a stencil, and I'm just drawing on some wax paper. So I'm doing this at a funny angle. It doesn't have to be perfect, obviously, but I think I'm going to do like 3 of these to start because I've never actually done this before, and I'm not sure if it'll work. So my thought is, if this works, then we can just do like poison or acid damage, do like green ones or whatever. So I just did this with a Sharpie because I don't know if this will lift or not when we do the hot glue. So I figured I'd just do red instead of black. Not a big deal if you use black. You could always do the back side too because it's just going to peel off. I was going to use this. I don't know if you've seen this. How cool. It's like a rope hot glue, but then I noticed it was like white instead of clear. So I think I'm going to use just my old school, don't make fun of my ghetto, cheap hot glue gun. I'm going to use regular clear because I want it to be somewhat translucent, maybe. I don't know. I'm thinking about playing with LED lights soon. So I'm just going to go around these circles and glob it just to give it some texture. And I'm not going to worry very much about the actual shape yet because we will deal with that later. So let's go ahead and do these. So we've done each ring one time, and I'm just going to go through and layer these up a little bit. I don't need them to be crazy tall or anything like that. You know, if you didn't want anything that looked like actual fire, you could just, I think Matt Mercer uses like the cap or the rings that come on like juice bottles or whatever. Those work great too, but I wanted something a little fancy. I'm making a huge mess with this hot glue. That's okay though. So these don't really look like fire yet, I know. But really I just wanted to make something that was like flexible and like wouldn't break easily. Because I thought about doing like paper or something like that, but I wanted something a little more durable than just paper. You could probably do these flat, like measure it out and then like bend them, like if you did do like construction paper or something, just cut them straight, and then they would probably look really good if you stored them in a way they wouldn't get crushed. So we're gonna let this cool for a little bit. Okay, so these are coolish. So I'm going to peel them off now. Probably should wait till they're all the way cool, but I'm impatient. If I did wait until they were all the way cool, this probably wouldn't be lifting and tearing like this. So remember how I said I didn't know if this would work because I've never done this before? In retrospect, I would have done this on glass or ceramic instead of wax paper. Okay, so we got one little guy here. So you can see this will be fun to use for like acid damage too, because it looks like goo. I did something like this for a homebrew monster that Wyatt made, and I painted the base. I'd like made this textured stuff with hot glue on the base to make it look like this weird like nightmare goo, I don't know. And I painted over it, and I really like the texture. So I've been playing with the hot glue since I did that. So I'm just taking some little scissors that I got. I'm sure you can get these at the craft store. I think these came with like a kit for rivets or something like that, but I use them all the time. So if you were gonna make these for like a gift for your DM, and you wanted them to be really nice, you could build them up really tall and you could actually cut like flame shapes into them. I don't know how well it would build. You might have to put something in the middle for support, like something that this wouldn't stick to. But I think this is fine because it's just gonna like lay on the mini like this, like just however, hang off on a mini however, you know. So I'm just basically using these like the rings that most people use. I just wanted something a little more fancy, I guess. So let's go ahead and clean these other ones up. I actually already filmed this video and I went to go make a couple of more so that I can make other spell effects. Wyatt was happy with how they turned out and he asked if I could do some like green and purple and stuff. So I went ahead and made some more. I did try them on a ceramic plate. They were really hard to get off. I think I should have popped them in the fridge, but I'm trying to get them done for tonight. So I'm not sure if that was better than dealing with the wax paper. I might have just done the wax paper, to be honest. So what I wanted to show you was after I popped these off, I kind of just built up a little bit more glue just while I was holding it, and I still have paint on me. And then just to strengthen up the weak ends. And then something you can do to kind of speed this whole process up for these little stringy guys, which I should have done on the last ones and I didn't think about it, but you can hold these over a candle and those little stringy bits will curl up. So I'm gonna use, these are actually, I think tweezers for like fake eyelashes, but any tweezers are fine. Just don't get too far down in there or it might like blacken, but this is just a good way to smooth it out. So I'm going to do a bunch of these and try different colors and see how they turn out, and I'll go ahead and stick a picture up. And if you guys want a more detailed tutorial on how to paint these, just let me know in the comments and I'll just do another video on how to paint the different spell effects. Alright, so let's get these bad boys painted. I'm just using some cheap craft store paint, just like folk art paint. No reason to use anything expensive on these for sure. I'm going to paint the bottom first. This red is a little more pink than I would like, but it'll do. So I'm just going to paint the whole thing red to start. I did want this clear glue in case I ever wanted to play with like LED lights. I'm not sure how well it will work. Maybe we'll try it out. It might not show through, but no reason to not at least give it a shot, right? So I'm going to paint the bottom first. I'm probably just going to do one coat of red on this and be done. We'll see. I might end up doing both sides, I don't know. I'm just using some cardboard packing crap to protect my workspace because I'm a messy painter. So you'll probably notice I'm not making sure every square inch is covered because, like I said, I did make these translucent, so kind of relying on the clear color, the paint to show through the clear. So just throwing some red on, and then we're going to start building up with the orange and yellow. The point of the glue was to make it textured and let the texture catch the colors. like I said, you could really make this look very realistic, but at the end of the day, it's just going to be on the table to mark spell effects, so I'm not too worried about it. So while that's drying, I just wanted to mention, if you're going to do like poison damage or acid damage, basically the same process as we're doing here, except I would use like these greens, maybe a yellow too. I mean, you could do frosty ones, blues obviously, shocky ones purple. I feel like this texture kind of works for everything because it's just blobs. It's just texture. It's not actually a shape, so we're just gonna pile on some orange here and kind of blend it in so that it's not like clunked up. Clunked? I'm making up all sorts of words today. Can't really go wrong here. Just, you know, lay on some color, let it build up a little bit. The idea is just to get the colors to sort of gradient up. So we're going to keep that red down on the bottom, build up this orange a little bit, then we'll build up to the yellow. Starting to look a little more fiery here, so let's add, I've got like this, it's called primary yellow, so it's just very deep yellow. So everything's still kind of wet, and I'm still gonna go ahead and lay it on because I don't mind that it wet blends a little bit. Looks a little more natural when you do that, I think. So I'm laying it down, and I don't want any straight lines, so I'm kind of dry brushing, well, wet brushing, I guess, around the edges so it blends down a little bit. And I'm doing it sloppy because I want it to be like a really organic shape. You could do lava bubbles like this, except do like just red and black, and then on the very, like at the very base do black. Maybe even ink wash it with black, and then let it build up to the yellow. That could be fun to do. Just for like the map, not necessarily for a marker. So at this point, it will need to dry before we move on to the brighter colors so that it doesn't mix, but I wanted these layers to mix a little bit. And the thing that's going to make it really look like fire is when we add the really light colors, that bright contrast. I think a lot of times when people paint like fire, they blend up to this yellow that we just did, and then that's where they stop. But the real trick is to like go up to either white or almost white and give it that dark contrast. So I'm going to go back with the primary yellow and do a dry brush. This should be super, super dry, and I honestly should be waiting a little longer just to be sure, but we're just going to move forward here. So this dry brush is going to pick up this fun texture. Just make sure you leave some of that red because you don't want to lose all of it. And if you do, you can always add it a little back in. But I'm going to leave the inside of the circle and the bottom pretty red. So now you can see it's starting to look a little bit more like actual fire. Even though it's blobby shaped and not terribly fiery shaped. But you could see how this could work for, you know, like poison or acid or whatever. I'd also planned on making some just red ones for bleed damage, or when for persistent bleed damage. So for that one, you know, blood is pretty much one color, so I think in order to give that one some texture and, you know, some variance to the color, I would do maybe like purple and blue for the bottom instead of red, and then build up to like different shades of red. So for this last level, I think I'm just gonna take my light yellow and make it even lighter with some white. And we're gonna be really light with this one. We're not gonna dry brush all over like we did with the other colors. We're gonna just do this one on the very top. So this guy's probably the driest. Gonna be a little bit more mindful with this one. And I'll do one more pass through, but I'm not going to be even. I'm just going to hit it in certain places just to mix it up. So some places look like it's burning hotter. And you can see I still have some little stringy guys. I'm going to clean those up too. But that's all it is. They're super fast. And, you know, you don't have to spend $30 on these. You can also use the rings off of like milk jugs or whatever, like Matt does. But if you want to add a little something extra to it, these are quick. So I hope this gave you some ideas on how to spruce up your table a little bit and help in combat. If you like this video and you want to see more tutorials like this, give me a like and a subscribe, and let me know in the comments if there's anything specific that you want to make or want to know how to make, and I'll see if I can do that. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.